Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of CardBlitz. I'm your host, Kelly Reed, joined by my good friend, Patrick Marshall. Patrick, how's it going?
Good. What's going on, Kelly? How you doing today?
Oh, it's getting ready for Thanksgiving week, and it's a big Thanksgiving football games coming up in a few days, and I'm excited to talk football, and I'm sure there's some baseball that might get sprinkled in, and
Yeah,
totally, man, excited to do today's episode with you.
yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, it's always a good time of the year. I mean, and now they have the 3 o'clock game on Amazon on Friday for the NFL. I mean, it's
Hmm.
basically just nonstop NFL. It feels like from here on out.
Well, yeah,
So
you got Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday.
yeah, then
Cranking
Thursday.
out.
I don't know when's the last Thursday night football game. I forget. Is that 2 weeks from now, or is that
I'm
they?
sure. I'm sure it's right after Christmas holiday. So,
Well, they stop them. They go to Saturdays, and then so. But it's good. I love it. So
all right. Well, let's just get into it, man. Let's
yeah,
talk birthday boy.
yep. Birthday boy today, born on this date, is the one and only thorn in my side being a Houston Oilers fan growing up, Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar turned 62 years old. Can you see that? Looks like a little reflection on there.
Yeah, a little bit of
But
glare.
okay. Um, Kosar was actually, I mean, I remember in college, he was awesome. He was the
Hmm.
first, I think the first ever national championship for Miami was with Kosar at the helm in 1983. So he's been in the, unfortunately, he's had some accolades in the NFL as well. I mean, went to 3 AFC championship games. I think like mid 80s, 86, 87, I think
Yeah, those,
89.
those are kind of story tells with them and the Broncos, with
Yeah.
the Browns, and
Dude, I was about to say, I didn't
just
realize the
just
Broncos
just
beat them.
heartstrings and heart
Yeah.
being ripped out.
Yeah, the Broncos beat them all 3 times. They went to the AFC Championship game, and obviously we can't forget John Elway's heroics on the
Right.
comeback. You know, so
Man, yeah, no, there was that one. Was it Ernest Biner? I think it was in
yep,
'87, and it looked like it was a done deal. And next thing you know, man, somehow, some way, the Broncos and Elway came back.
yeah, and the reason why he was that I know it's too much about the Browns team is because growing up in Houston, being an Oilers fan, they would always play the Oilers tough, and they would always beat them, and it
Mm.
would drive me crazy. And even on the back of this card, Bernie Kosar's rookie card, this 86 tops, it says here an AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors and was voted game ball by teammates for performance versus the Oilers on December 15th, 1985. Talk about salt in the wound. Come on, Bernie.
Well, man, my Bernie Williams card is just the old team card from the '87 set.
Yeah, I like that
88,
one.
88 set. My bad, '88.
Yeah, I like that one. That's
But
cool.
yeah, man. I mean, he ended up getting a Super Bowl ring though with the Cowboys in '93.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
was the backup to one Troy Aikman that year.
I didn't realize that too. I looked up, I go, I totally forgot about that. It kind of snuck in there. I didn't even realize that he wasn't on the Cowboys though. That was an off-season pickup for 93.
It must have been.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately for Bernie, I mean, we're very happy that he's here for his 62nd birthday because he just underwent a liver transplant, actually, about a week ago. So, um, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver and Parkinson's disease. So,
Hmm.
he's a pretty lucky man to be here, but he was on the wait list for a year for a liver, and apparently it's been successful, and he's on the road to recovery. So,
Well, thoughts and prayers to
yeah,
Bernie and his family, and speedy recovery, and the rehabilitation, and like just getting back out and about. Man, it's going to take a lot of work, but
yeah,
he can do it. He's a fighter, and
dude, he's tough. Yeah,
yeah, Kosar, he'll get after it, man.
yeah. So great. Um, what else we got on store, Kelly?
Well, hot topic of the day is hot markets, hot hobby, hot. Dallas, Texas. It's been super hot. It's been like 86 degrees or 84 degrees the past few days, 88 degrees. I'm like hot, man. But wanted to get into this whole idea of like a lot of folks are sinking a lot of money in the hobby right now,
Yeah.
and it's like our price is too high. And if so, what advice would you give someone that's you know trying to buy cards in this market right now?
Well, I think we touched on it on our last episode, like impulse buying. If you know
Mhm.
you need a card for some, there's a lot of different resources out there to you can take your time and look for prices and look for things. Now, it depends what kind of card you're after. Obviously, if you're after a low pop graded PSA 9 or 10 of a certain player, yeah, I think you're pretty much going to have to pay up for that. And if you can find one, I think you're going to have to do the old plus 10% rule. Just be prepared to pay a little bit more than what you thought your budget was in order to obtain the card, because I think those cards are just still going to maintain their value. But if you're looking for a common, like you mentioned on your football set, you could take the time. I'd love to hear your opinion. Like, take the time to look around and set yourself a budget and make sure that you follow that, because you may be one of a few select percentage of people out there that are actually looking for that card. Maybe you just don't jump on it. If someone throws out $25 and it's only really selling between 10 and 15, open up to that seller and see if you can negotiate a price. So
that kind of covers my top two things. One being disciplined,
discipline.
And setting a budget. Know the type of collector you are. And is it for your collection or is it an investment? That's the first thing. You got to kind of know that about yourself. Know who you are and as a collector and what your end goals are. So yeah, you got to be disciplined and you got to have that budget. And then number three, you kind of touched on it too, is do your research.
Yeah.
Man, we got the internet, and you can also pay for some some services like Card Ladder or Market Movers. If you really want to kind of deep dive into your research on the values of these cards and the markets, and if they're trending upward, downwards, etc. You need to do the research because it's a buyer beware hobby.
Yeah, I think research is very important. And when you're doing the research, something may pop up. Like I was looking, I'd love to buy a Stan Musial card, just an old vintage card. And there's some cards that are been selling more popular. They like the 59 tops, seems to do pretty well. People like the design. But just even getting into the research, I kind of switched gears and I think I want a different card of his now. So it kind of opens up a different avenue. And I'm like, oh, well, that one's maybe a little bit more affordable, or maybe I'll spend a little bit more and upgrade to an older card. Maybe I'll look for something maybe in the early 50s from them. I think doing your research is what gets you to that point. So take your time. I think people need to take their time a little bit, because I think the prices are going to stay where they are and even increase on some of these older cards that I like to buy, the vintage cards. So take your time, do your research, but also be prepared. Like when the time comes, sometimes, go ahead and just get it, grab it.
If it's the right opportunity and you're a well-informed buyer because you are disciplined, did your research, you have your budget, then you're ready to make that purchase. And, I've been looking at same usual cards myself, especially after that episode where we talked about veterans who also, who served in our armed forces, but also had great sports careers, athletics, Musial is one of those guys, and that 1958 Topps card that you had the reprint of it, the All-Star game card. I'm looking at that card. I'm like,
it's pretty cool.
Not a bad looking card, man. And the stars in the background, and it's kind of patriotic. And I'm like, maybe that's what I need to get. But I've been watching those prices, and the mid grade's pretty affordable overall. But you start looking at the higher grades, and it's like, then is it investment versus collecting it as a hobby?
Right. Do you want to say, oh, I got a sweet card to Stan Musial, or I've got a personal investment in Stan the Man. So right.
Exactly, man. But you had mentioned that about how he came back and he won the MVP for the NL that year, and
it's amazing. His numbers were absolutely amazing. And he's also a fraternity member. I'm in the same fraternity as he is. And I didn't even realize that until years later. After collecting cards, I was like, wow, why don't I have a card of his? I mean,
you and Sam the Man have something in common. How about
that? That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, but a player like that we use as an example. I mean, do your research on them. You may come across something that may be a better deal, and maybe you get one that for your PC, it's a mid grade, and you're happy with that, and then an opportunity presents itself, and you can you can improve on that with a different year of a card of his,
Hmm.
and you have the money. Maybe you're an experienced and researched buyer. So just like buying a car, you don't just drive up and go, oh wow, look at that, it's red. I'm buying it. Great.
Oh,
You know,
sure you can. It's
yeah,
72 months of layaway, I'm sure, or month car payments.
108, whatever it is now.
108 now.
Yeah.
I thought it was 72 was a lot. If they're up to 108, that is insane.
I don't know
Like,
what I read something and it was getting out of control. I'm like, it
like
doesn't
a
even
nine
seem
year
legal.
nine year plan for a car,
Cars have not been developed and built that well to be able to quantify having a lease that's almost 100 months or something. It's ridiculous.
crazy, man. Getting back to the advice though on a hot market and buying cards, what about diversifying? And you kind of mentioned that with like perhaps not a certain year of a player, but being flexible. How do you feel about perhaps diversifying your collection and trying to get different sports?
It depends. I mean, if it means something to me, I'm going to go back to nostalgia. Like I would love to have, a Hakeem Olajuwon rookie card. Just growing up in Houston, and when they won back-to-back titles with Rudy Tomjanovich, I mean, it was amazing. I would get a lot of pleasure at looking at that card displayed in my office or at my desk at home. So yeah, I haven't really thought about that having to be a PC card, but maybe I'll start a little research over the holidays and look for that. I'll be like, that would be a good one to obtain. So
Hmm.
I'll diversify into basketball. I mean, that's not a problem. I can do that.
I mean,
What
I'm
about
more
yourself?
of a baseball football kind of collector.
Yeah.
Not really like hockey and NBA really aren't my lanes. So, I don't know if you've got money, and it's just burning a hole in your pocket and you're like, look, I got
Yeah.
to spend this. I'm
I'm
going
not going to
to go
go.
with
Yeah.
down the paths I know, which are football and baseball. And
Yeah.
particularly maybe like from like, 2000 and earlier because, it's kind of out of the hobby by '02 and came back in 2023. So there's a big gap there, man. 20 years, 20 plus years. I wasn't in this hobby.
Yeah. Like a Dominique Wilkins card for basketball. I mean, who can't forget his monster jams? I mean, kind of fun to look at. And then maybe one day I'll tell my kids, hey, you need to look up and see who some of these guys are. Daddy, who's Dominique Wilkins? All right. He can jump out of the stadium.
Right, right, man. Have you thought about like when like when you're buying these cards, like like an exit plan or a strategy, like, hey, if I don't value this card like I used to, how am I gonna get rid of it or how am I gonna move it, sell it? Have you ever thought about that?
You know what happens to me is I get these feelings and I'm like, oh, that'd be great. I'm going to look this card up. I start doing research. I kind of put it on the back burner, and 9 times out of 10, I don't follow through on it. It was just kind of an idea that popped in my head. So I don't actually buy the card, but in the back of my mind, if it presents itself, I think we'll go back to just just researching it and knowing what the prices would be. If an opportunity popped up, I'd probably get it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, I set my budgets. I mean, I think budgeting is a big thing for me. So if it's a $150 card, I'm like, okay, that's I'm going to go ahead and get that. I mean, that's my wheelhouse, and it's only 200 to 225 is all I can find it for. I'm kind of going to put it on the side and forget about it. It'll go back on the back burner. So
Maybe
kind of
my question was geared more to those that watch the show that are maybe speculating and prospecting and
yeah,
because those guys Bowman Chrome and Bowman Draft and Bowman Basic Release like in the baseball world like they're always trying to find the hot commodities and flipping those cards and maybe they buy into it at a certain price level and it drops. I showed you the Junior Caminero card
yep,
last episode, like I fell into that trap. I'm like, he's gonna be I think he's gonna be a solid player long term, but he's not. His value on that card didn't like skyrocket because of the way he came into into MLB. Like in September for like two straight seasons, like he got two for like 20-day stints before he became like just a regular active roster 40-man start the season kind of guy.
yeah, yeah. I
So,
mean, the when it comes to newer cards, it's yeah, that's almost a totally different mindset.
mhm.
I find so.
Well, maybe our viewers will give us some thoughts on their exit plans and stuff like that. As far as what was I going to say? Buying, like where you buy your cards from, is that something that you think leads credence into this buying in a hot market? Like,
Yeah, I like to buy. I mean, I like using eBay as a reference. I mean, I think that's. I mean, it gives me a view of collectors and what people are offering that live all around the country. I think that's kind of a unique snapshot. I've looked at some local,
hmm
maybe like try to look for estate sales or yard sales, or like there's a website called OfferUp that I'm sure people are familiar with that does some local selling. But what I find on those is some people are very proud of their collections, so it's not really a realistic opportunity to purchase. But I use those kind of resources, things that are convenient for me. Um,
so buy-in price again in a hot market impacts your decision.
yes.
So like, hey man, this is you value your cards way more than I do, and this
Yep.
price point is here, and your price point's there. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not meeting.
it's not like a card show where you can go into the card show and you have an idea of what you want to achieve and purchase. You have a game plan, and you go to a dealer and you see a price on there, and it's like say it says $200, and first off that that's just a I would love to get this price, says the dealer. Yeah, I'll just throw $200 on it, but you can negotiate that.
hmm
Um, you're talking to an experienced person who's selling cards, so and he may have bought that card for $50, 5 years ago. Maybe he will come down to 150, and then you feel happy because that's your price point. He's happy because he's made some money on the deal. I don't think that works on a personal peer-to-peer level very well. So um, I think some of the more expensive cards, you can see the quality in person. You have a game plan. You've done your research. I mean, going to a card show and being able to negotiate, I think I'd like to do that first if I had an honest opinion, and then maybe go to eBay after that, something like that. So
Have you bought much off of Facebook or
no, I haven't bought anything off
socially,
Facebook.
like Instagram, Twitter?
Nope, nope,
No.
haven't bought anything. So
I've bought a few things off of Facebook, but again, it's always use like PayPal, GNS to make sure that I'm protected as the buyer.
yeah,
Um, but you got to do your research because yeah, again, people throw things out there on the internet, and like you said, there's their wish, dream price, and reality is maybe after doing some research, the price is at a different point, maybe lower. You don't want to get it's hard to earn money, it's easy to spend it, so you try to make your hobby dollars last. So you
yeah.
got to be smart about it.
I'd like to see some more like trading forums. I know you've traded some cards before
I have.
in the past, which is great. I love that idea.
hmm
Um, but it's pretty broad. You'd have to dial it in and find out what somebody's looking for, and you're assuming that they have the card that you need. Obviously, you're talking to them, and
Right.
then you assume that you have the cards they need. So it makes it a
And
little bit more tricky.
that's the key, is making sure that the quality is on par.
Yep,
You're not trading, like your near mint cards for a bunch of fair cards that are creased and rounded corners and marks on them. You're like,
correct.
gonna
Yeah,
work unless it's like you're trading like newer stuff for like some old vintage stuff where it's like, hey, it can have these impurities to them, and still you enjoy the card for what it is.
yeah, yeah. I
And
think I
we've
think
talked a hot market of, haven't we?
it's hot. You have to be prepared. So
Well, dude,
um,
when they're selling, was it like $13 million cards of Kobe and Michael Jordan, and it's on the news and it's on mainstream media, like you're in a hot market.
yep,
And I don't think it's going to last forever. Eventually all markets, they have downturns.
yep.
And so whether or not, you and I as collectors, as hobbyists, we got to know when to spend our money and when not to spend our money.
That's right. That's right. So we can make it last. That's right.
Do you have any cards for like show and tell?
You know, because of our topics today, I came across this little bad boy, a Barry Sanders. It's a team checklist, but it's a jersey card, which is kind of cool. It is
Man, you and
a
I are so on the same page. This is hilarious.
1998 like playoff, which is pretty neat. I was like, looked at it, I go, oh, I got to grab that because this
Yeah,
man makes me think of Thanksgiving.
definitely, man. Well, I was gonna say our connection on this jersey card thing. I found this guy the other day right here, a jersey card of one Eddie Matthews.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, it's from the Heritage set. Let's see here, back in '02 it says.
Okay, nice.
But that's funny. You found a jersey card. I found one,
Yeah.
and to top that one off, man, I found when these were the rage.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Part
Is
of
that Greg Maddox?
Yeah, this is Greg Maddox, but the fact that it's got part of a bat.
Yeah, I've got some. I don't know if I forget. It's a pitcher as well, but I was surprised it's a bat as well.
Well, the National League pitchers back in the day used to actually swing the bat. So
That's right. That's right.
that's funny. You pulled out that jersey card. I was like, I found something I thought was cool too, man. And
Yeah, let's
you beat
go.
me to it, man.
That's great.
Well, man, also in lieu of Thanksgiving and thinking about the Friday night game for my university, I found this guy here, one Ricky Williams.
Yeah, I almost pulled out a Ricky Williams rookie card.
Well, he had a great Thanksgiving weekend game against the Aggies once.
Okay.
So, that's gonna be a big game Friday night here locally in Texas.
Whew.
Texas and Texas A&M, man, that's gonna be a battle.
It's going to be huge. It's going to really just throw a curveball when Texas beats A&M. It's going to be wild.
Well, I'm not jumping the gun on that.
Yeah.
I'd love to say hook 'em at the end and have that W, but A&M, they're a quality team, man, and
Oh,
uh,
they're good. Yeah.
yeah, undefeated, and
Yeah.
they survived some near scares this season, so they've gone through some tribulation and some trials, but
Yeah.
I anticipate the Friday night game to be one of excitement and probably a pretty low scoring affair.
It's gonna be
Maybe
like it's gonna feel like an NFL game.
17, 21-17 kind of game. I don't see it being a shootout by any stretch.
Yeah. Texas defense shows up. Yeah, I agree with you.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So
Well, you want to talk other Turkey Day games? Like, do
yeah,
like a memorable one? And
let's talk about memorable Turkey Day. Okay, so this is fun. So I was going through thinking about all the Thanksgiving Day matchups I've seen, and one that's memorable to me was in 1989. Unfortunately, it was the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Um, Cowboys were on their way back. They just drafted Troy Aikman. The Eagles were kind of like the class besides the Giants of the NFC East. The two went head to head, and the Eagles unfortunately won 27-0. But what's memorable about this game is you had a sportscaster who was calling the game named Mr. John Madden, the legend. And John Madden decided to start his turkey leg tradition and gave his first turkey leg to Reggie White in the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. And he started the Thanksgiving Turkey Day tradition
right,
on that game in November of 1989. What's cool about that is it segues into the next year on Thanksgiving Day. The Cowboys played the Redskins, and Emmitt Smith was the MVP of the game, I guess you could say. But he was awarded the turkey leg from John Madden for that game. He had 23 carries, like 125 yards, 2 TDs. And John Madden wished that he wanted to give a turkey leg to each of the offensive linemen that blocked for Emmitt Smith all day
right.
long. So he thought to himself, God, wouldn't it be kind of neat if we need to get a 6-legged turkey. So
How do you get a six-legged turkey, Patrick? I'm all ears.
yes. So I started diving into this, and it prompted a local restaurateur in the Dallas-Fort Worth area named Joe Pat Feisler, owner of Harvey's Barbecue Pit, to create a 6-legged turkey. and John Madden was quoted as saying, "We had to find turkeys that had a lot of legs on them. There's only one place you can get a turkey with more than 2 legs, and that's in Texas." You can't script this. And then apparently Pat Joe Feisler, he liked to tell people that the 6-legged turkeys were grown on a farm near the nuclear plant in Glen Rose, Texas.
Have you ever
And
been
it's
down to Glen Rose?
I have driven. I've been by there. Yes, I've
Dude, they
been
have a
by.
huge wildlife park there for kids, and
Yeah,
they also have like a dinosaur park with
dinosaur. I remember for dinosaur
yeah,
fossils and things. But
exactly, man.
the greatest thing about this is this tradition of the turkey leg tradition has still been going on for the last 36 years. Thanks to Mr. John Madden. The guy was a legend. I mean,
Dude, John Madden
it was
is a
amazing.
legend,
So
man.
I think of Thanksgiving and I think of memorable games. I think of those first turkey leg games. And once I started thinking about it, I had to dive into that, and I was shocked. I had no idea the six-legged turkey was created like that.
It's news to me too, man. I'm impressed that you did the research and you're able to share the story, man. That's
Yeah, it's
awesome,
great.
man.
I laughed out loud at this.
Impressive.
I laughed out loud when I heard that, when I read it. I go, I got to talk
It,
about this.
it seems like such a Madden story and a Madden thing too, man. That's
It
funny.
totally, yeah, it's totally a Madden thing, and great for Thanksgiving. It makes you. I mean, I can't wait to watch football on Thursday now after reading that.
Dude, that and you know they're gonna present the turkey legs and yeah, no, tradition continues.
On prime time. I realized it was on prime time game on NBC. So I guess that's the Bengals and Ravens at night.
The
I
nighttime
guess.
game, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. What about yourself, Kelly? What?
Speaking of Turkey Day games and Dallas Cowboys and this man Emmett Smith,
Yes.
which I found this like really cool looking looks like it's a Tops Stadium Club kind of insert. But it die cut, that was the 90s for you.
Yep.
But for me, man, we kind of addressed it earlier in a previous episode, but it was not one of those like 88-degree Thanksgiving days. It was probably about I'd say probably about 28 to 30 degrees. And Emmitt Smith in that game, he had a tough time running because there was like snow on the ground because it had actually snowed in Dallas. And
Yep.
so, in that game, they were taking on the Dolphins. And so at the end of the first half, the Cowboys were up 14-7. And then the Dolphins came back with a pair of field goals. And then you had that end of the game field goal attempt by the Dolphins to win it, in which it got blocked. But, instead of it just, carrying out of bounds on the sideline or back to the kicker, it actually went forward to about the 1 yard line where Leon Lett had slid and touched it and it got recovered there at the one by the Dolphins. So they got to kick again.
Yep. That's right.
And I remember, man, they like had cleared the snow off the ground. And then this guy was probably the MVP of that game,
Yep.
Pete Stoyanovich.
Nice.
Why? Because he put the game-winning field goal, 16-14 on my Dallas Cowboys. Three second half field goals to seal the deal with a walk-off win.
Do you remember that feeling? Like we may have touched on it last time, but that feeling when you're watching it and then you're like, and they're like, and it's good, and you're like looking around like, what the heck happened? What's going on?
1993, man,
Yeah.
and I remember talk sports radio, folks were wanting Leon Lett's head, man. I mean, they were
Yeah.
so furious. That's how rabid and fanatical Cowboy followers are, and
Yeah.
I was like, you look back and you're like, hey, man, it's just a game. But at the time, though, and you're in the moment, and I'm sure, that people's emotions just kind of, overcame them. But at the end of the day, though, the Dallas Cowboys survived that loss and went on to win Super Bowl number 28.
Well, what's unique about this? The one I mentioned to you, the first turkey leg, is that was the building years. The Cowboys finished 1-15,
Mm-hmm.
or there, and from there on,
That would have been in 89.
yeah,
89,
89,
they won
yeah,
1-15,
89.
yeah.
That Eagles team held Troy Aikman to 54 yards passing and 3 interceptions, and that was it for the whole
Oh,
game.
it was rough,
So
rough going.
it was great watching the transition from that to where they ended up. It was beautiful. so
Definitely, man. Well,
so
I was just saying, man, speaking of Thanksgiving, is there anything you want to like a hobby things you want to give a shout out to?
we touched a little bit on our topic earlier about how hot the market is. I just want to say I'm thankful for still being a collector and going through my cards. And you and I connecting a few years ago and like going through this journey, because I talked to some of the neighbors' kids and my children, and a lot of kids. I mean, they're into cards. They go, "Hey, Mr. Patrick, have you seen this card?" I'm like, "Oh, well, let me show you this other card." I have to be careful what I show them and where they are. I don't want a bunch of kids in my room going through a bunch of cards.
Yeah,
But
next thing you know, man, there's like a 1975 Topps baseball set all across the bed and on the floor, and you're like,
but
but my set, you what?
well, let's put it this way. My son, he brought out a Dak Prescott card. He goes, "Here, Dad, I think we should put this out to display while the game's on." I go, "Okay, here we go." It started.
It has begun.
It starts with that little piece right there. So I'm thankful that sports is such an important part of people's lives, and I mean, it's sports collectibles was a big impact for me growing up, and I'm glad that the market's still hot. You know, the prices can do whatever they want to do. It's not really all about that, but I think just the fact that there's a lot of interest still in collectibles and cards, and it's great. You know, it makes it fun. Like I'll always go buy a pack if there's a pack somewhere, and I'm in some random no name gas station. I'll probably buy it.
An impulse buy.
Yeah, an impulse buy. But maybe I'm in Arizona and there's not another gas station for another 58 miles. Yeah, sure, why not?
Run out of gas, but you got some cards.
That's right. So,
Well,
what
man,
about yourself, Kel?
mine's kind of a two-pronged thankfulness. One is, I'm certainly thankful that you've agreed to co-host and to be a part of all these episodes and making this year a memorable year. And it's been a journey and it's been fun. And we've got a lot of laughs and a lot of good stories to share. And so certainly, thankful for that. And without you partnering up on this with me and doing this YouTube show, we wouldn't have the followers and the viewers and the commenters and those that we interact with on YouTube. And so,
Yeah,
I'm also thankful for that. So, like I said, mine's kind of a two-pronged thing.
yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that we could all have a community and talk about sports and talk about collectibles, and then the stories that come out, I think, are the greatest part of it.
Oh, definitely, man.
It's the best. I mean, and then I don't know how many times you've pushed me down a rabbit hole, and I'm looking around and like, all right, we're going to talk about, and I'm like, I think of something that pops in my head. I'm like, Kelly, I've totally put that away for like the last 30 years. So I'm going to tell all our viewers and what. Here you go.
Memories.
Everyone's going to hear it now.
Well, man, we've got to end this segment, this episode with a little Stump Patrick.
Okay. All right.
Man, we're going back in time and it's all Thanksgiving related. So here we go, man.
Gotcha.
First, NFL Turkey Day football game was broadcasted when? And I'm going to give you four different choices.
Okay.
Was it broadcasted in 1950, 1951, 1952, 1953?
Ooh,
One of these years is correct. When was the very first NFL Thanksgiving Day game televised?
let's see.
On the big screen, on the TV.
Usually the last year is not the year. So I'm going to go with, let's go with 1950. A.
A, 1950. You and 49.7% of America are wrong.
Okay. All
The
right.
correct answer is 1953.
The last one, really? Okay.
Yes,
That
sir.
okay. And do we know anything about that game?
It
I
was
mean,
between the Lions and the Packers, and it was in Green Bay,
okay.
which is quite
Interesting.
different from growing up and always seeing the games held in Detroit with the Lions. So, yeah,
Right.
little Thanksgiving trivia for you, man.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That was a tricky one. You know,
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those trivia things. So, hey, you and 49.7% of America agreed, though. They thought TVs coming out in 1950, right after World War II, NFL becoming a part of the the culture, festivities of Thanksgiving. I would have guessed 1950 as well.
if you wouldn't have given me a multiple choice, I would have said the 60s. I would have jumped another 10 years.
Hmm.
So, I would have
Well, I gave
thought
you a
maybe,
group of four, and so I tried to keep it kind of close for you.
yeah, that's good. No, that's tricky. I like it. So, because if you would have said 1962, I probably would have jumped on it or something like that.
Right. Well, on that note, man, certainly want to wish you and all the viewers that watch this show every now and then, certainly want to wish y'all a happy Thanksgiving and be safe with your loved ones. And, Patrick and I, we're going to keep collecting and we're going to keep doing these episodes and talking cards and talking the hobby.
That's right. Yep. Try not to eat too much and if you do, take that time to go through that one 800 count box you've been ignoring for the last 10 years. Go see what you got. I challenge you.
The 3,000 calorie challenge and the 800 box challenge. That'll be
800 count
your goal
challenge.
for Thanksgiving weekend, right? Just chowing down and going through cards, man.
Find 5 cards you're thankful for that's in that box.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thankful. I'm thankful. I'm
There you
thankful.
go. I'm
Well,
thankful I didn't pay for this. Wait, I did pay for it, kind of in a way.
back in the day, man.
Yeah, back in the day.
On that note, I guess we're out of here and we'll catch you next time.
All right. See you, Kelly.